Hello YouTube people, in today's video I will show you incredibly beautiful looking watch from Addiesdive. I saw this watch on Reddit as a new release, and you know what, few minutes later I bought this watch with my own money. It's like love from the first sight, and you know what, I took this watch out of the box and I was not disappointed whatsoever. This watch in real life looks a lot better than in pictures, and you know what, I had this watch on my wrist for a couple of days already, and I have zero regrets paying 100 euros for this quartz watch from AliExpress. Absolutely love this thing. So in this video I'll show you how this beautiful watch looks like on my 16.5 centimeter wrist or 6.5 inches, and I will show you how this watch looks like on some custom straps. Let me tell you the specifications, and as always I did all the measurements myself. So this watch of the bracelet weighs 39 grams. Diameter of the case is 36 millimeters. Lug to lug distance 41.9 millimeters. Lug width is 20. Thickness of this watch is 10.4 millimeters, and visual thickness of the side, according to my measurements, you know, if I measure right there, it's about 8.7 millimeters. This watch has water resistance rating of 100 meters, together with a screw down crown and screw down case back. It has flat sapphire crystal and has sweeping quartz movement inside. That's how this watch looks like from the top down view on my small wrist, and in my opinion it looks perfect proportion wise, visually wise. It's a small watch on a small wrist and I think it is perfect. And oh boy, just look at this thing, such an eye candy. And this bracelet as well, it's just gorgeous. This thing is just unbelievable. After resizing this bracelet for my small wrist, that's how many extra links I had to remove. Quite a few links, so I was rather surprised how long is the original bracelet. Now speaking about the bracelet, it has quite a bit of flexibility side to side. And even though some people associate this kind of flexibility with poor quality, I strongly disagree. And for me, this bracelet is actually the only type of a bracelet that I don't mind. I usually don't like bracelets, but because of the side-to-side flexibility, it actually is alright. It feels natural, it feels organic, it adapts on the wrist, and it feels actually comfortable. Now speaking about the bracelet, it has solid links, solid end links. Links are connected with pins. Middle portion of the bracelet, those three links are polished out, and these on the sides are brushed, and the very sides are polished out. Now the fitment inside lugs is excellent. There is no gaps, no free play, nothing is sticking out. Both ends are excellent. The bracelet itself has very good articulation, that nothing sticks, nothing gets stuck. First link, as you can see, is free to move around, and there are no uneven gaps. Everything is done very nicely, nothing pokes into my eyes. It's visually very well pleasing looking bracelet, and it tapers down to 16 millimeters right there. Speaking about the feel, if I feel it like that with my fingers, it feels better than average in terms of the sharpness. These flat edges are actually okay. The problem is that these very corners, they are pretty sharp. So wearing this watch throughout the day on my wrist, it does bite sometimes. It does have a tendency to dig into the skin sometimes, but because it has this kind of flexibility side to side, that doesn't happen often, and I don't really mind it too much. Now the clasp, full metal solid clasp. No free play, it's very robust, very well built, and I really like how relatively slim it is in comparison to most other clasps from AliExpress. I would say this is a relatively slim clasp, and it's not large. It's not a large clasp, yet it still has plenty of micro adjustments. That's very nice. And when I lock it in place, has no free play. These buttons as well, no free play. Everything feels very robust, very precisely made. The problem comes that this section is medium sharp. I would call it medium sharp, but this portion is pretty sharp. So when I put this bracelet on my wrist, it's actually, this part scratches my wrist rather unpleasantly. So I will be finishing edges on this part, and the shelf of the clasp is rather sharp. It feels like it has skipped one process in the factory, because let me demonstrate. This is plastic pen, and as you can see, you could probably peel potatoes with this clasp. It peels this plastic pen like it's nothing. So these edges and these corners are very sharp. They are just unfinished. The bottom edge as well peels this plastic pen no problem. Now this part, well, yeah, generally speaking, this clasp is a little bit unfinished. And let me show you something funny. You remember this watch from the previous video? Addiesdive has sent me this watch straight from the factory, specifically for a YouTube video. This watch was meant to be seen on a YouTube, you know, straight from the factory, specifically for a YouTube video. Now the clasp on this watch, excellent, no sharpness absolutely anywhere, and if I do this pen test, it just slides right off. It doesn't even catch on this edge, nothing, no sharpness. Now this watch I have bought myself. This is just a random watch off the shelf, and this clasp just peels off this pen like it's nothing. So I don't know what's up with that. I thought it's just a little bit funny. Let me show you the finishing on the case, and I found only one thing to complain about. This engraving on the case back, you know, sometimes they are sharp, sometimes they are not. This one is sharp one. So I have intentions of keeping this watch, so I'm going to sand it down a little bit to make it feel a little bit nicer. But other than that, there is absolutely nothing else to complain about. Finishing is superb. It's really, really nice. Even inside lugs, polished out. The lugs themselves look very beautiful. And even inside walls of the lugs, if I test this edge from the inside, it's not sharp. It has some finishing. Even this very corner at the very tip of the lug, it has a little bit of finishing. It's not sharp, you know, it's a little bit pointy, yes, but it does have a little bit of roundness, indicating that there was a little bit of finishing going on. That's nice. That's nice attention to detail, you know. The finishing on this case is really nice, and I really like this crown. I think those Addiesdive logo engravings on the crown look really nice. I personally do like them. The crown is nice. It's perfect size for the size of this watch, in my opinion, and I really like how slim it is. I actually wouldn't want this watch to be any slimmer, because it would lose its presence, you know. I think it's visually very nicely proportioned. It is perfect ratio thickness versus the length of the watch, and it's overall is just quite a looker. You know, it's a simple case. It's just a simple case. It's no intriguing transitions between polished and brushed surfaces and whatever, but it's just nice. The proportions, the finishing, it's just very nice. And now let's take a look at this beautiful burgundy sunburst dial. And before that, I would like you to pay attention to this sapphire crystal. It is flat, and they give no information about anti-reflective coating. I believe this sapphire crystal probably doesn't have anti-reflective coating, but somehow when I wore this watch for a couple of days, I haven't noticed this crystal blowing out too much. You know, it wasn't annoying, probably because it is flat, so you have to hit a quite specific angle to the light to make it blown out and glossy. I don't know, but honestly, I haven't really noticed that, and it hasn't really bothered me. So that's, you know, I'm sitting next to huge studio lights, so it doesn't really look like that in real life. It's not that bad. So in real life, it's more like this, you know. So about the dial, it has very strong sunburst effect, and it is slightly darker on the edges of the dial. It has a little bit of it appears as if it has a little bit of transition towards the black, towards the edges. And I think this dial is spectacular, simply spectacular. In real life it's just as beautiful as in any pictures. I'm telling you, this thing is just, it's just insane. This thing looks just so good. You know what, let's play a little bit with the light. Let me give you some different lighting conditions. Well, maybe let's give a little bit more contrast to look like right now. And as you can see, this sunburst effect is very active on the dial. It's very beautiful. Now if I turn off another light, turn this one back on, just to give you a little bit more play with the light. Man, this thing is just like love from the first sight. And now a few days later I'm still in a rather strong honeymoon period with this watch. I still like it very much. Zero regrets buying this watch. It's just such a good looking thing. You know what, let's turn off these lights and let's just keep this candle style light alone. And you know, this watch overall, it doesn't matter the lighting, doesn't matter the angle of the light, it's just so beautiful. And this bracelet together with this fluted bezel, such a nice thing, such a nice thing. Now the lume on this watch, as always on Addiesdive, lume is very good. I don't remember if I ever had a watch from Addiesdive that I would be disappointed with the performance of their lume. So this watch is no exception. Lume on this watch is really good and does last till the morning, no problem whatsoever. And by the way, pay attention to the burgundy dial right now in this very dim light. It still pops out a little bit into action, and you can see this burgundy color. Man, even in super dark conditions you can still see a little bit shade of that burgundy. It's just, man, I really like it. And lume on this watch, well, it's not like I just turned off the lights. I have actually charged this lume up before showing you, but it is actually good. The lume on this watch is actually very decent, and even throughout the day I actually noticed this watch shining on my wrist. Now let's do a little bit of quality control, and I can tell you that I see no dust under the sapphire crystal, which is nice. This watch is clean. Crown action, you know, it's a small crown, but it's a small watch, and it's a quartz watch, so you don't really need to use this crown. You just set it and forget it. But I must say that screw down action on this crown is very good. It's not grindy or anything, it feels good quality. And what I like is that setting time on this watch, the crown ratio is very slow and feels precise. So that also gives a sense of quality. Now let's set on 6 and let's see if those hands are well aligned. Let's set on exactly 6. Yes, hands are straight, looking good. So quality wise, you know, doing this kind of quality test, there is absolutely nothing to complain about. Now let's play around a little bit and let's see how this watch would look like on some custom straps. So first obvious option in my opinion is just shiny black leather strap. It does look okay, but you know, obviously not as good as on original bracelet, but it's still very nice watch. Very nice watch. Another very nice option is this very cool looking leather strap with all kinds of scratches, and it gives very cool character to this watch. It dresses it down a little bit. It doesn't look as fancy anymore. It looks a little bit more casual, but it looks really cool right now. I like that. This is second favorite option after the original bracelet. And let's not forget that this watch has 100 meters of water resistance, and maybe you don't like wearing a bracelet during water activities, you know, so this would be a rather convenient option, this tropical style silicone strap. I think it looks pretty good on this watch. This pattern matches the bezel rather nicely, you know, it has some pattern which looks a little bit similar, and it looks pretty nice, I would say. It looks pretty nice. Not as good as the original bracelet, obviously, but it's very interesting option. Same straps, just different angle, and that's how they look like. This one is a black tropical style silicone strap, and I think it looks alright on this watch. Looks pretty good. This watch looks good on black straps, simple as that. It does look good. Not as good as the original bracelet, of course, but very interesting option anyway. This one is also black, except this one is shiny leather black. So dressy kind of a watch, fancy watch on a dressy style strap. I think it looks alright. And you know what, I wonder how it looks a little bit underneath the sleeve like that. This fluted bezel looks really good with the sneak peek view like that. It just catches eyes and looks intriguing and looks really nice. And once you see this beautiful burgundy dial, it's just like, wow man, this thing is just such an eye candy. Spectacular, man. I really like this watch. I really like this watch. And the cool option, this coffee brown leather strap with scratches. I think it looks nice. It looks really nice. Very nice option for this watch. Very cool option. So with the original bracelet back on the watch, let's finish this video. You know, I really like this bracelet. I have no intentions of wearing this watch on anything else rather than its original bracelet. I think it looks wonderful. It really matches the looks with this fluted bezel. It's unbelievable. It's very beautiful thing, and I really like its side-to-side flexibility. It feels very natural, it doesn't choke my wrist, it's very comfortable. Despite some sharpness here and there, this thing is actually very comfortable on the wrist and it looks amazing. It looks just amazing. So what do I think about the price tag? You know, 100 euros for a quartz watch from AliExpress. I think it's great value for money. What you get for the money is incredible. Not only this watch looks wonderful, but it's actually very well finished. Despite some sharp edges here and there, it's a very well finished watch, and I really like the specifications. It has sapphire crystal, plenty of water resistance, very good solid clasp and bracelet, and has very good lume, and has one of my favorite movements, quartz movement with the sweeping second hand, so this watch can be thrown around. It doesn't afraid of vibrations. I can wear this watch as my daily watch, you know, riding mountain bicycle or working with some power tools, because it's a proper watch. It's a quartz watch. You can throw it around. It's not afraid of shaking and, you know, vibrating or anything. So it's a tough thing, and because it has this quartz movement, it can also be rather slim, which is also very nice. You know, I'm very positive about this watch. That's generally my opinion, and main reason why I bought this watch is actually I bought this watch for myself, not for this video, and I really like it. No regrets, zero regrets, absolutely love it. So that's it. That's all I have to show you today. Thank you for watching. Have a beautiful day. Goodbye.